This week, I entered 3 different Pauper tournaments on Magic Online, with the goal of improving my deck and improving as a player. Today, I'm going to walk you through my mindset, discuss the tweaks that I made throughout the week, and show off a couple games to demonstrate my results. Thanks so much for watching, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more Pauper content just like this. Hey y'all, how's it going? Let's get right into it. So here's the deck that I decided to bring to the first of the 3 tournaments that I entered this week. It was the PCT on Tuesday. And by the way, in this video, I'm not going to be doing an in-depth primer on Grixis Affinity, so don't expect detailed mulligan guides, things of that nature in this video. I would love to make something like that if you're interested in it, so just let me know in the comments. But for today, I'm just going to do a brief deck tech explaining the choices that I made in each of the 3 versions of the deck that I brought to the 3 tournaments this week. So, to get started, the first thing you might notice is that I'm playing 20 artifact lands here. A lot of people will play 19 lands and only make 18 of those artifacts. The reason for that is that if you have a basic in your deck, you can fetch it with the initiative. Or under more fringe scenarios, if one of your lands gets Cleansing Wildfired, you can fetch it from that as well. I'm playing 20 artifact lands. I don't really want the situation where I open up and my black source is a swamp. I would much prefer a Vault of Whispers, but to each their own in that regard. The deck overall is pretty standard, and it's based on a list by Luffy on MTGO, but with a couple of important changes. In addition to playing an extra land, I'm playing 20 all artifact lands. I'm going with Candy Trails instead of Chromatic Stars. Some people play Stars. I prefer Candy Trail for the ability to sculpt the next couple of draws if you find this on turn 1. It lets you keep 1-landers sometimes if you have to, and it's 3 healing in the main deck, which is pretty important against decks like Madness and Kuldotha. That does come up a fair bit. I am playing an extra copy of Thoughtcast. Most people play 2, but I wanted a greater ability to churn through the deck. Sometimes I was just finding that I was fizzling out in certain situations. And because I'm playing that extra Thoughtcast and an extra land, I am playing only 1 copy of Cast Down. Some people play 2. Some people play 2 copies of Kenku Artificer. I'm only playing 1, and I'm not playing a single makeshift munitions in this build of the deck. So I would say overall the deck is maybe a little bit stronger in terms of consistency and draw power, but a little bit weaker in terms of ability to stabilize the board and or close games out in this list. So that is the trade-off. The sideboard here is a little bit less clean than Luffy's list. I've alluded to them a couple of times here. They're playing 10 Elemental Blasts in the sideboard. I'm only playing 7. I am playing 4 Blue Blast for Kuldotha. It's really good in that matchup, and against Rakdos Madness, which is actually a little bit tricky sometimes. It can be hard to deal with all of their burn if you don't get all of your Reckoner's bargains. And I'm playing 3 Red Elemental... excuse me. 3 Red Elemental Blast for the Terrors and for Fairies, things like that. I feel like I can go below 5 on both sides because both of those decks are hurt pretty hard by Quark Clan Shaman. And for Terror specifically, it's hurt pretty hard by Quark Clan Shaman plus Toxin Analysis. I figure that the ability to play those cards means that I don't need to go and play 5 of each Elemental Blast. Because of that, and because I'm only playing a single cast down in the sideboard, I'm not playing more than 1 single target removal in the sideboard, it lets me play these 5 here. So the first thing I'll talk about is Gorilla Shaman. It's great in the Affinity Mirror. It's great against Rakdos Madness. There are some other fringe decks that it's good against as well, but it's mostly for those 2 matchups. And, that probably constitutes like 10-15% of the meta, so I think it's worth including here. And I'm playing 3 copies of Duress, primarily for Sadistically. And this is also maybe decent against some random combo decks or decks where I'm anticipating, a lot of counter spells, things like that. Duress might be nice. So there's the deck right there. As I said, it might be a little bit greedy. I love to draw cards. I'm drawing lots of cards, and I'm able to do so consistently, but I have a hard time closing it out. We'll see if that's enough to succeed in the first tournament. So what I'm going to do here is show a game or two from each event, and then after showing that game, I'll talk about it, talk about some changes that I made after that tournament, maybe because of the games that you just saw, and then we'll go through a little bit of a progression series and compare where we began and where we ended. I think it'll be fun. I hope you enjoy it. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you do, and I'll see you in the first game. Okay, after Heartbreaker round 1, we're moving into round 2. Let's not get too beaten down and make this a 1-1. After all, we're all just here to improve together. I have to mulligan this, even though I do have a turn 1 Blood Fountain, that's all. This looks a lot better. I can throw back a Galvanic Blast or a Krark Clan Shaman. I think Galvanic Blast is better in more matchups. Let's send back the Krark, even though it can crack my Ichor Wellsprings. I would rather do that with a draw. With a draw spell. The opponent mulligan to 5. So our start is going to look like Drossforge pass into, okay, it looks like we are up against Rakdos Madness. That's fine. The Reckoner's Bargain is a great draw here. Pass. They play a Vault of Whispers to black. Vampire's Kiss. No, retapping for red for likely a Grab the Prize on a Sneaky Snacker. Or on a Faithless Looting. Okay, instead they are plotting the Highway Robbery. Cool, works for me. We have a Blood Fountain. And we have 2 looks for our 3rd land. Hopefully we find it. If not, we'll have Reckoner's Bargain the next turn, so it's not a disaster. It would just set us back a bit. Raven of Fell Omens, gotcha. So they're playing the crime version of the deck. So I'm considering a different play than the Ichor Wellspring here. I am considering Deadly Dispute on the Blood token. Let's think about that. It would give me a treasure to Galvanic Blast the Raven of Fell Omens, and it would be more likely to find my 3rd land. I think I'm going to try it, especially because I have other draw spells in my hand. We do find it. It is an untapped land, which we didn't really need, but that's okay. I could Deadly Dispute the Blood Fountain. I don't think I need to do anything crazy like that. Let's just use the treasure and take the L on this unspent mana. We just want to choke them out, given that they have a slow start. Voldaren Epicure, sure. Let's see if they blood token, discard a Snacker. Alright, so they're just leaving open a black, so let's not discard that card if we can avoid it. Now let's take another turn off potentially, and go Wellspring. Trying to hit land number 4, please. Okay, we miss it, unfortunate. That's okay, we have a lot of card draw next turn, and they are going slow as well. Once they draw a Madness card, they can discard it away with the plotted Highway Robbery. They're going to Vampire's Kiss, okay. A lot of blood tokens on the board. I'm seeing that they're playing the artifact lands, so Gorilla Shaman is going to be a nice sideboard card. Oh, we've got all of the healing. Awesome. Let's just draw into some Mirror Enforcers, some more lands, stuff like that. There's a land, okay. Do we get something else that's playable? We do. Awesome. Okay, so there's a question of whether we should Candy Trail or Blood Fountain. I think I have enough artifacts, so I am going to Candy Trail and set up my next draw. Refurbished Familiar is decent, but not great in this matchup. I do think it's better than Galvanic Blast, but I might want both. So I think I'm going to go... I don't necessarily want these right now, but I also don't necessarily want them on the bottom. And we'll hope that they tap out, so that I can safely refurb and just hit a Snacker or something like that. You don't often see the Raven of Fell Omens version of this deck. What do they discard? They're just discarding a land. Okay, interesting. I think actually in Madness, a 4th land is pretty nice, but maybe they're flooded and they had a few of them. Faithless Looting, sure. Discarding... what? A Kitchen Imp and a Fiery Temper. Okay, pretty good for them. Very good for them. So that puts me to 9 life currently, but it does mean they're tapping out unless they found another untapped land, which means that it'll be safe for me to play Refurbished Familiar. I can Reckoner's Bargain that or something like that. Let's see what we discard here. They still have a lot of graveyard synergy stuff that's not madness, so I would describe this as a non-disaster, not as, like, an amazing result. Okay, yep, that's another graveyard effect card. So here, I think I'm going to Blood Fountain, which might discourage them from attacking in with a Kitchen Imp, which I would be happy about. And then I would just crack the Candy Trail. Although we already had another Blood Fountain, they knew about this. Doesn't make a difference. I'm going to hold off on these Ichor Wellsprings for now. Hopefully I pick up my 5th land off of one of these draw spells. But I want to get a lot of value off of these Reckoner's Bargains. Refurb is a great target to Reckoner's Bargain. It's the second best one in terms of life gain. Raven of Fell Omens, that could be a problem. They do choose to swing in. Alright, I think I'm just going to block it and crack the Candy Trail. Because I have to take these flyers off the board. Let's see what else they do. Nothing for now. Crack the Candy Trail. Galvanic Blast, okay, I like to see that. And a Mirror Enforcer, amazing. So, given that I have Mirror Enforcer, I can play a Wellspring. Let's make sure to leave open... I don't need to leave open blue necessarily, and I don't think I would be casting Thoughtcast this turn if I draw it. Well, we drew it, and I think I agree with that decision I made. Let's go ahead and Galvanic Blast this. And we have the option to Reckoner's Bargain away our Mirror Enforcer. They are Galvanic Blasting me or the Mirror Enforcer? Me. Okay, that's fine. So I go down to 6. Let's see what their start is. I might have to pretty proactively sack this Mirror Enforcer to the Reckoner's Bargain. But I can wait for them to take an action. I would prefer to keep it as a blocker here. Okay, they find a land. And they pass. That's amazing. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and keep the treasure. I think I want to see if I can get this toxin analysis to resolve. Let's draw first. Alright, we find another. Cool, we can play that in a second. We're a little behind on clock. Let's be cognizant of that. So they can start chaining some madness cards, potentially, with these blood tokens. Let's see if we can get in with an attack. Technically, they could do something funny, like blocking and bolting their own creature to prevent the life gain. I would be fine with that. Okay, amazing. We're up to 10. I feel pretty safe right now. I'm just going to put down this other Mirror Enforcer. And then... I'm going to hold up, actually, Reckoner's... Oh, wait. Okay, I'm going to hold up Deadly Dispute and Reckoner's Bargain here, instead of playing a Wellspring and holding up nothing. And I can crack a Clue if I want to. Okay, they're Fiery Tempering where? Is it showing me? Okay, they have to pay the cost first. Are they pointing at my face or at my Mirror Enforcer? At my face. I am okay with that. Let's see what they do. If they flash back Faithless Looting, they don't have much more mana. I'm okay with Vampire's Kiss. Am I? Yes. Puts me to 5. Let's see what else they do. They're blood tokening away a what? A Vault of Whispers? Okay. I'm gonna just lower my stress level and Reckoner's Bargain this right now. Does that make any sense? It doesn't. I should attack with it first, right? Let's not be silly. I should have cracked my Clue in that case. Alright, let's attack. They couldn't possibly do more than 4 damage with 1 mana. But I do think I want to bargain this right now. Again, stress level things. It might not be correct, but I'm not going to sit here and min-max that. It makes me too scared. Let's play a Mistfall Bridge and pass. So now we have the option to get back a Mirror Enforcer and a... Didn't we lose a Refurbished Familiar? Yes, Refurbished Familiar and Mirror Enforcer. Potentially. I think it's a decent time to do that. Let's do it. But I'm going to hold off on the Refurbished Familiar. It would just potentially give them free value. Really interesting that they're not going for the Faithless Looting in their graveyard. Alright, let's start by attacking. At this point, we've absolutely turned the corner, and we're just trying to close. Mirror Enforcer, Vault of Whispers, Candy Trail, Then I can also probably Ichor Wellspring. Let's scry first. Galvanic Blast is good. And we don't need the land. Let's Ichor Wellspring. Alright, we've got the Galvanic Blast. Let's not forget to crack a clue if we do have the option. If we don't feel like deadly disputing for some reason, we can crack a clue. They lightning bolt my face, sure. That's fine. Grab the prize. Discarding another grab the prize. Let's Candy Trail right now before they get those draws. Because I would have been at 7. I could get blown out by like a double Galvanic Blast potentially, something like that. And I can Clue Token. Alright, we have munitions to close it. Alright, let's go attack. Galvanic Blast. And then we'll put down the munitions and Galvanic Blast, and if they discard an Alms, we can kill them on the stack. Alright. Sideboard. So, in the sideboard versus this matchup, I put Nile Spellbomb and a third copy in my sideboard for this. I think having... Oftentimes when I sideboard with this deck, when you sideboard with this deck, you go down on artifacts, which is a bit of a problem for executing your main game plan. So I decided to go down on Blue Blast, up on Nile Spellbomb. Spellbomb is also good against Terror decks. And then I can play Gorilla Shamans. I think I did see that they play artifact lands. I could put in Cast Down for Raven of Fell Omens. I don't hate that. I don't think I really need the Krarks. Toxin is okay. I might keep that. What about this other stuff? I think it's not really a munitions matchup. I can cut a Thought Cast. We already play more than the average. We could cut a... What did we cut so far? I don't want to cut too many artifacts. I think we can cut one Blood Fountain. And... maybe it's not about Toxin. Maybe if Toxin is not paired with Krark, I just shouldn't be playing it. I still like it, but we'll try without. We'll try like this. Okay, we're doing better on time this match, so let's keep that going. We are still a little bit behind, but not too bad. I think we've used almost exactly 1/3 of our time, so it's not like we're doing great. A game 3 at that pace will still take us the rest of the match. Opponent trying to decide if they want to go first. Take your time. By the way, while we're waiting here, if y'all have any suggestions for other videos, let me know. There are a lot of different things that YouTubers do and a lot of different things I could try. Do you like seeing meta decks like this one? Do you like seeing tier like 2-3 decks? Do you like seeing brews? What excites you? Let me know. This is keepable. We'll keep. We don't have our own destructible lands for them to Gorilla Shaman. Of course, they could cast into fire, but Gorilla Shaman is the most effective. There's an argument to playing Drossforge Bridge first, but I think I just want to get the Misfault down for the ability to counter the Grab the Prize. Yeah, and we got another blue source, so we're pretty happy with this. They could be playing any number of artifact take cards. Rakdos Madness will play Gorilla Shaman or Cast into the Fire or Smash to Smithereens. They're all fine. But one thing that all of those have in common is they're in the red colors. So if I draw Forge Bridge here, I can protect my other land against a Cast into the Fire or something like that. We're going to take some early beats here. There's not much we can do about that. I could play a Wellspring, but I think I'd rather start holding up the Blue Blast, which essentially means they've already kind of destroyed my land because I'm not using this mana proactively, but let's not talk about that. It's getting a little too philosophical. They swing 2. Let's see if they find their third land. They do? Okay. And it is an artifact land. I now have the ability to blow that up. They plot a highway robbery, sure. I think I'm going to wait a little longer to blow their land up. Alright, so here is where I'm going to play this and Wellspring. I gotta get this down so I can start deadly disputing it and drawing through my deck. Mirror Enforcers would be really nice, so I could start just blocking their 1/1s, because these have me on a 7-turn clock right now. Galvanic Blast. Sure. I'd rather blue blast their draw spells. Although it was very tempting. This is not my favorite thing to counter, but I think it's still right. I would, of course, rather counter and grab the prize. It would mean they spend mana. It would mean that they're priced into the discard. Discarding a kitchen imp, sure. I need to start healing and fast. Or I could cast that down, I guess. Do they find land number 4? They don't yet. That's good. But we are dangerously low in life. Alright, let's start with Deadly Dispute on the Wellspring. And I'll leave open a red-black source. Another cast down is not really what I needed. This is better. Do I risk the refurb? It's so dangerous here. I think I'm just going to hope that they don't have another 4 damage. We have to use this now, right? Yep, we're going to discard. Because I refurb here, then what? I just block. I take an option away from them, maybe. Alright. The nice thing about this, actually, though, is we are out of range of their Alms of the Vein and their Fiery Temper, so they need those plus. And as soon as I refurb next turn, I can sack it to the bargain. Okay, there's an Alms of the Vein. Sure. Do they have any single point of damage? Let's find out. They do. Okay, GG. Let's go game 3. I'm pretty confident in my plan. Let's just try it again. I didn't see any land destruction that game. I still assume that they are playing it, but maybe I should go a little bit more proactive in the early game and just make them have their answers. At the end of the day, just not having early Mirror Enforcers are what did me in. But I'm going first, which is going to help a lot versus an aggressive deck. So this is a really sketchy hand. I want to keep it because I have great Furnace Candy Trail, and I just have to find the right colors, but I think that I have a better chance by sending it back. I do have a Wellspring, though. So I have 3 looks at a land. This is risky. I'm going to keep it. This is the whole reason that Candy Trail is in the deck. I would really prefer to have a Vault of Whispers here. Okay, good, good. So how do I want to sequence these? I think I want to go Seat and then Dross Forge. Yeah. Play Candy Trail. It's a good card. And all of a sudden, we're in a good spot. We don't have the amazing start we would hope for in terms of lands. But in terms of everything else, I am enjoying my life. So next turn, we will have played Dross Forge, cracked the Candy Trail. That's kind of mid. Smash to smithereens on that land. Okay. That's fine. We can play through that. They pass. Now we find a Galvanic Blast to hit their Raven of Fell Omens if we have to. And if they kill our Great Furnace, then at least we can still refurb and optimistically try to get to a Mirror Enforcer. 3 mana. Vampire's Kiss, sure. And Galvanic Blast, okay. But they are tapped out, which is good. And we got a Vault of Whispers. Amazing. So I think I should Deadly Dispute here. Well, what I could do is I could refurb, Mirror Enforcer, hold up Galvanic Blast. And it's very hard for them to take apart my Black Lands or my Wellspring. So I think I'm going to do that, especially because they're tapped out. These refurbished familiars are hard to use. I noticed actually that I haven't seen them play Sneaky Snacker. I guess they're on a more aggressive build. Alright, discard a land. Good. I'm discarding good stuff. And a Lightning Bolt. Amazing. Play my Mirror Enforcer. Hold up Galvanic Blast for their Kitchen Imp or their Raven of Fell Omens. I'm feeling good. And then I have Deadly Dispute to draw my deck. They pass. Okay. Kenku Artificer, huh? Not yet. First, let's Deadly Dispute. I guess there's an argument to attacking first, potentially. Find a land. Awesome. Okay. I want to get my blue source. So let's do this. And then we can swing for 8. We have Candy Trail to stay out of range, and we have Galvanic Blast or Cast Down to take their stuff out. I'm not sure which I would prefer to use in this case. Galvanic Blast me? Sure. Lightning Bolt? Okay, let's go ahead and just Candy Trail right now, before they get another draw. I am a little bit off lethal. Is that true? I have 8 damage, 12 damage, potentially 15. Let's start with a Thoughtcast. So they could very easily kill me from 5. Candy Trail is awesome. So is Mirror Enforcer. Let's see if we find another. I don't think I need more lands. No, I want to keep hitting lands, right? They're saying GG, but let's keep playing, because they are not conceding. They could definitely chain together some Madness cards. They discard a Kitchen Imp. Okay. That's spooky. I take 2. But I can respond by cracking the Candy Trail if they do anything. Okay. So let's do it now. Alright. We got there. We beat Rakdos Madness. We're 1-1 in the league. Let's go to the next one. I'll see y'all there. Okay, we've started our round 3, and it looks like we won the die roll versus Gus's Dreaming. I think this is a keepable hand. We've got Candy Trails to help sculpt our hand. Let's keep it. And I think here I want to start with my blue source, which is a little bit unusual. But I have the Thoughtcast here, so I think it's okay. Opponent plays Forest. Glade Cover Scout. Okay, we're against Bogles. Got it. That's not great. Hopefully their cards stay blockable for a while. I like Refurb. Toxin Analysis is also good, actually. Let's take Refurb first, because I can block their card. Pass? Sure. Sure. It has First Strike, which means that my plan to block is not going to work too well. Alright, what do I do here? Let's start with a Refurb. They discard Abundant Growth, okay. Then... So I could Great Furnace with Candy Trail, and then Thoughtcast into something, like some sort of aggression. There's the Toxin. I also like Kenku. Kenku can block. Let's keep this on... Ooh, Kenku plus Toxin? That's pretty nice. It doesn't matter because I'm going to draw both. And let's just attack. Oh, we can't because we just played it. Never mind. We do need another land. Unfortunately, I kind of forgot about that part. Hopefully we find one. So Bogles is a matchup where I really want these early refurbs to strip resources away from them. They kind of need all their cards. So they decide to take Ancestral Mask, which reads enchanted creature gets +2/+2 for each other enchantment. Okay. Okay. And that Rancor is pretty good. Alright. So I can Thoughtcast for more lands, which right now I kind of need. Let's do that. I still don't find it. It's too bad. In that case, I think I want to draw off of the Candy Trail, or I could Reckoner's Bargain my Refurbished Familiar. Let's attack. And because they have Trample, I don't really need to block with that and Reckoner's Bargain it in combat, but this is looking pretty grim. Okay, I do find another land, but I can't quite cast my Mirror Enforcer, so let's just go ahead and pass. So my plan is going to be to Kenku Artificer, animate my land, Toxin Analysis the land, Ancestral Mask. I'm alive for now. You're gonna get in with another 7. I heal 3. I think I'm gonna lose just so. If they just drop the... or if they just swing with it. Also, this is not getting me another artifact. So that's awkward as well. Alright, so let's make sure we understand this. We take an excess 7 here. I could find Krark Clan Shaman. Krark Clan Shaman could help me stay in it. I think I need to do that. Let's Deadly Dispute a Candy Trail. Okay, no KCS there. Then I can... Okay, I no longer have enough mana to do this. I think we just have to go next. I mean, Well, actually, when they swing at my Mirror Enforcer, I'm only taking 6 right now, so I can actually Candy Trail and survive. So let's do that and see if we can pick up our Kark. Ram through. Alright, I can't get rid of the... I guess let's just Candy Trail now. It's the only draw I have. Nothing I can do here. Galvanic Blast. Technically, I might survive that. I can Galvanic Blast my thing and then I just lose to the attack. Let's concede. Okay, against Bogles. Very rough game 1, but that's how it goes. So I need the Quarks, and I need the Toxin Analysis. Duress is also good. In turn, I can take out my... I think I can take out my Cast Down, and I can take out my Munitions, that's just slow, and take out 2 Galvanic Blast. Try that again. Okay, let's go. We're going first this time. We might have before, I can't remember. Round 2. Or game 2 in round 2. I can't keep this. Mulligan. They also mulligan, nice. I can keep this and put back a Silver Bluff Bridge. Done. Okay. I don't have anything that I need for the matchup yet, but I have the tools to try to get there. Unfortunately, I'm not playing any Edicts. It's actually worth considering, given that it would also help against Terror, but I just don't think I should overreact to these luck of the draw matchup things. Bogles is not super common. Okay. So I can refurb and then draw 2. Utopia Sprawl, sure. They're selecting white. Ethereal Armor. 3 in first strike. 4 in first strike. Uh-oh, it's getting scary. So do I start with a Deadly Dispute, looking for a Vault of Whispers? I think I like that. You find a Krark. That'll be good. That'll be important. And then I will play a Bridge and Refurbished Familiar. There's no Trample yet, so I could Chump Block for now. They have a lot of cards because of that Abundant Growth. Ancestral Mask, sure. So now I need Toxin Analysis, right? Let's Chump here. Right? They don't have the Rancor. Okay, we'll start with Vault. Thoughtcast, draw 2. Refurbish Familiar. I left in the Nile Spellbombs, which might have been a mistake, but I think I can use it to exile the Rancor, so maybe it's not too bad. So if that gets a Rancor, it'll be at 16, so I can just survive. So I think I will play out my artifacts and say go. Nile Spellbombs are a decent thing to sack to a Deadly Dispute. Okay, I'll Chump again. I have time, good. They're passing. I wonder if they have some kind of protection. Yes. Reckoner's Bargain. Can be some healing. So we'll play the Dross Forge and pass. So we put this in front of the Blade Cover Scout, and then I use the token and the Silver Bluff Bridge to sack it. Hopefully they don't have a way at instant speed to give that trample. I'm not really sure. Okay. Protection from red. Oh, they're just cycling it. Okay. Makes sense. Oh, no, they're playing it. Okay. Let's Deadly Dispute on the Spellbomb. Kinku is pretty good. I think I go for that, and I animate my... Oh, only this has protection from red, is that right? Only this. Okay. So let's put down Kinku. And pass. There are 2 refurbished in the bin. +1/+1 vigilance, okay. Fine. Trample. Ethereal Armor, okay. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. I think I'm gonna say... Okay. Block and block. I don't think the order matters. And then I need to get another Kinku land out. So let's go Dross Forge Bridge, Blood Fountain, and then plan on bringing my stuff back. Okay. And then I'll take 7 here. Hopefully no trample. No trample, okay. Block. Use the Blood Fountain. Kanku. refurbished. So they're going to have a hard time breaking through now. So I basically need 4 mana for Kenku and 2 for refurb, so this should be okay. Discard your card. Discard your card. Alright. Those were doing nothing, and then we will Kenku animating a Drossforge, and then I can start attacking with my refurbs. And I have them on a basically 3-turn clock, actually 2, because the last turn I can attack with these. They get trampled, dang it. Okay, that's really bad. It gives them more time as well. Alright, so that I can just chump. So that is 17. I think I'm alive at 1. So now I need to find the... Also, does that give totem armor? No. Okay, I think I'm alive here, right? That's 23 minus 8 is 15. Alright. So now I have to find the toxin analysis. There it is. Okay, good. So what else should I be doing? Putting down a candy trail. Another toxin will be good. We don't really need this right now. Should I just do that right away? I should wait until they attack, right? But then they can use a protection spell that they draw. Let's do this now. I'm at 3. And then I can attack. Oh, no, that's only a 4/5 now, so that's fine. I can out-heal that with a candy trail, potentially. Let's attack with 1. I think I need to start doing something, especially for time, if nothing else. Sentinel's Eyes, sure. They can attack just to make me block. They decline. Let's crack my candy trail. There's my toxin. Okay, so I can go Blood Fountain and get some stuff back. I'm going to hold off for now. Let's just play out the Mirror Enforcer and attack with 1. I can get back Kenku again. Okay, there's Trample. Sure. So I'm going to go block. Wait, let's block. So this is going to get in for 6, but I can heal it off. I should be at 3. Wait, they won the match? Why? Oh, because it has first strike. Ah, okay. I didn't know that interaction. Alright. Rough matchup. That's okay. So if they have first strike, they deal damage first, and then you don't get to get your lifelink. Good to know. See you in the next one. Alright, welcome back. Let's recap the games from the Fuguete League. So as you saw, I was able to take the match versus Rakdos Madness. Against that deck, I just think that if you can keep their board clear, the choice to run Candy Trails in this list over Chromatic Stars that really shines the additional healing, can nullify some of their burn spells, their Alms the Vein, their Fiery Tempers, and then eventually you can develop a large enough board and just close things out and get under their burn damage. So that was pretty effective. I think the sideboard loadout with the couple of Blue Elemental Blasts, the couple of Gorilla Shamans, and also the Nihil Spellbomb did help in that matchup. But it's actually pretty close, I would say. It's a pretty close to even matchup for Rakdos Madness versus Grixis Affinity. The other one that we saw was Bogles, and that one was not so pretty, especially because I lost at the end due to a misplay. I'm not only a pretty new Pauper player, but also a pretty new Magic player, so the interaction with first strike happening before lifelink from the defending player was not something I was aware of. I might have been able to pull that one back, but regardless, that's a matchup I think where my choice to go lighter on Krark Clan Shamans in the main deck and only play 2 total toxin analysis between the main and side is hurting me a little bit. I think I can increase my chances against Bogles by playing more main deck Krarks and more toxin analysis all around. An interesting thing also is that player, I don't know how common this is, sideboards the creature that has protection from red, which is really interesting because I've been relying on Krark Clan Shaman as my primary removal spell against Bogles. So, you know, if that happens again, if I get to game 3, I might start putting the cast downs back in for the protection from red creature. It doesn't really hit their others, but, you know, I could just save it for the right moment. That's a consideration. Anyway, the third match, which I also unfortunately lost, was against the tournament organizer. I'm telling you, you had to be there. I was up. I won game 1. Game 2, it was pretty stable. We were trading evenly on board. I think I had a little bit more value than they did, but unfortunately, I timed out. It was a very grindy matchup, and I just couldn't quite close it out in time. But I still think the deck performed decently well. It was against Boros Synthesizer, and it actually assuaged some of my fears about cards like Glint Hawk and Core Skyfisher. That matchup taught me that if I'm just blocking their Glint Hawks with my Refurbished Familiars, and I'm Galvanic Blasting their Core Skyfishers, it's sort of okay that they have their Flyers. They only have 8 in the deck. It's not as terrorizing as, you know, the X1 Flyers from Battle Screech or from Fairies that I'm more worried about. So I think that that matchup taught me that, you know, I'm not actually as soft to that deck as I would have expected. Makeshift Munitions is decent there. I feel like it didn't really get to shine in this league like I was hoping that it might. But we'll see. I think it's going to shine in the next league in the Pauper Royale. So let's go into that, but not before looking at the tweaks that I made. And this time it was only to the sideboard. I didn't change the main deck at all. And the tweaks that I made were switching out Breath Weapon for Suffocating Fumes. I'm on 3 Breath Weapon now. I just think it's a more robust removal option. It can take out Glint Hawks. It can take out more of the creatures that Mono Red is running, the Blast Runners and the Goblin Tomb Raiders. And I decided to take out the One of Duress because I'm playing Cast Down and I guess Breath Weapon for Brood Scale. And I'm playing an extra copy of Toxin Analysis to help me in the Gruul Ramp decks, against the Gruul Ramp decks, against Terrors, against Bogles. You've heard it all before. Anyway, that'll do it for the recap of the Fuguete League. Let's move on to the Pauper Royale next. Okay, we are getting started in the first round of the Pauper Royale. We are moving first versus Gui Machado. Let's see what our start looks like. So we are curving out pretty well, but we are not getting anywhere. I think in general I have to mulligan these kinds of hands. Our second hand is looking pretty similar. We have the lands that we need. And we can play a turn 2 Refurbished Familiar and then eventually get down a Kenku Artificer on 3. I might have to keep this one. The Kenku Artificer will probably give me some sustainability, so let's keep it. And throw back a Krark Clan Shaman. We don't really have fodder. Okay, let's start with a Mistvault Bridge and pass. And we really need to get into some card draw here. The deck has a ton of it. I am confident we'll find it someday. Right? Absolutely. Okay, Contaminated Aquifer. This is looking like a Dimir Terror, Dimir Faeries deck, something like that. So this Refurbished Familiar is probably not going to be amazing, but I think we need to develop it. Getting our artifact count up, supporting the rest of our deck. They'll discard a Lorien Revealed. Okay, good. So they didn't have a Sneaky Snacker. That's nice. Now this deck can support Agony Warp, so we need to look out for that. Let's see what they reveal. They find a Ponder, sure. Unfortunately, we can't get the Kenku down this turn. We'll have to wait a bit. Blood Fountain is decent, so let's play the Blood Fountain down and attack for 2. The opponent is able to cantrip into, with their Ponder, into something else. Instead, they play another Augur of Bolas first. Interesting. They find a Snuff Out, okay. So that won't be effective on my Indestructible land. They'll swing 1, not a problem. And I think here I'm going to decline to cycle the Blood Token. Cycle with the Blood Token. And they Ponder. Let's see if we get a shuffle. They don't use the ability, so no shuffle. Another land. Okay, great. So we will be able to animate the Drossforge Bridge and attack with it this turn, put on some extra aggression. I like that. Again, hopefully no Agony Warp. They probably run it. We'll swing 5 and pass. I have Cast Down for Gurmag Angler, but I'm not going to be jumping at using it if I don't have to. They swing 2, not a problem. We already saw this Ponder, but they have yet to cast the Snuff out. Alright, here we can get in for 6 potentially, which is nice. Let's go for it. I might see a Suffocating Fumes here, which would be pretty good. Oh, really? They don't have anything. They just let me get in with that 1, which is surprising. I will pass the turn. Now this deck might be running Dihada's Ploy, so we'll have to look out for that. There's the Extract a Confession. Okay, makes sense. Is there anything I can do to protect my land? No. Okay, main deck Edicts. Got it. They swing for 1. Sure. We can cast down the other Augur of Bolas to try to get in. Let's give it a shot. We'll see if that gets countered. It does not. Okay. So we have the kill once we can get some more red mana. Let's swing in for 3. Should I Toxin Analysis? I think I want to Toxin Analysis to try to get a clue. They only have blue mana up. Let's wait until attackers. They Spell Stutter Sprite. Okay. Let's Galvanic Blast this. I get my lifelink, I get my clue. We can get in. We know they have a... They can hardcast a Snuff on this Kenku Artificer. Murmuring Mystic, Lorien Revealed. Sure. So they could have Spell Pierce, so we gotta make sure that we do that with mana available. They could be playing Dispel, I guess. Alright, next game. So, against a... We saw Spell Stutter Sprites, but that's it. I don't think we necessarily need to play Breath Weapon into that yet. So let's put in the Red Elemental Blasts. Take out the Krarks. But they're also probably playing Murmuring Mystic. So I don't mind playing Breath Weapon. We'll take out a Toxin Analysis for a Breath Weapon. But if we care about Murmuring Mystic, doesn't that just mean we should play Cast Down? Potentially. Let's try the Cast Down instead. And then we might change it up for game 3. Is there anything else that's just bad into this matchup? I think the rest is fine. We'll submit. So we managed to make it through with some early aggression. It can be tough to do, especially since we mulliganed down to 6 cards. And we didn't really have the card draw that we needed, but we managed to muscle our way through. And we got really lucky that they didn't have anything that they wanted in the graveyard when they had to pitch that Lorien Revealed to the Refurbished Familiar. They play first. This isn't a great hand, but I like keeping hands that have lands and candy trails. So I think I'm willing to keep. We'll see if they hold up turn 1 Spell Pierce. Okay, they can't now. Good. Let's get our other colors online. They get a Swamp, sure. I like both of these. I think I would rather... I think I want to bridge next turn with Blood Fountain. So I'm going to go top, and pass. If they hold up an island here, then I might change my plan because of Spell Stutter Sprite. Okay, we know they play sprites. We haven't seen Spell Pierce yet. So what I think I'm going to do is Ichor Wellspring. They're probably realistically on both, but more sprites. Good, it works. There's the Refurbished Familiar. That's going to be able to get through. Now they're going to have to make less than ideal plays during my end step or no plays at all. Okay, they just held up 2 mana doing nothing. They are passing again. Would I expect them to play Augur there if they had it? I'm not sure about the answer to that. So I think I'm going to start with a Refurbished Familiar. We'll see if that gets counterspelled. It doesn't. And then I think I'm just going to play this land and hold off on the Blood Fountain for now. They didn't have an end step play last turn. Hopefully they still don't this turn. They're casting down my Refurbished Familiar. I don't mind that. Okay. So I think they didn't counterspell before. Hopefully they still don't have it. I'm going to try to Reckoner's Bargain. They could have a Spell Pierce as well. But there's not a lot we can do. And if this gets countered, I'll play the Blood Fountain. And regardless, we're going to get 1 card draw off of the Ichor Wellspring. Let's hit a land. We did hit a land. Nice. Let's play it and pass. We're looking to Candy Trail during their end step. They flash in a spell starter sprite. Okay, that's fine. Sure, we'll let that happen. If they ninja, we will cast down. Okay, they didn't have a spell pierce before, I think. Hopefully they don't have the 2/1 ninja. They don't. Okay, good. Alright, and no spell pierce either, so I can start to play these blood fountains. And the makeshift munitions. Should I just do one or the other? I think makeshift munitions. And then I can pass. I can draw with a candy trail. They are still stuck on their 3 lands currently. Okay, never mind. They have a Lorien revealed. Sure. They could have a Gurmag Angler soon. You know, they have a spell stutter sprite in hand. But I can respond with makeshift munitions if they do it. Let's crack the candy trail. I don't know what I'm sacking to the munitions yet. We'll see. Or I could Red Blast. Let's put down a Blood Fountain. When they sprite this, I will munitions away the Vault of Whispers to kill it. And then the number of fairies on the board is 0, and it won't work. Okay. Let's pay with blue. Sack a land. Okay, I get my Blood Fountain. And then I can Deadly Dispute right now on the Blood token. Get some more lands. Let's put down a bridge and pass. We have Red Blast for their Lorien Revealed or Murmuring Mystic. Sure. How many creatures do we have in the bin? Just 1 right now. Okay. Let's Candy Trail. Paying with blue. That resolves. Ichor Wellspring and Drossforge Bridge come into play. I don't need the bridge right now. We'll take the Wellspring. And then I am going to crack the Candy Trail. Paying here and... what did I just get? Ichor Wellspring. Crack the Candy Trail, draw the Ichor Wellspring. We'll go here. We don't need a lot of blue mana. I think that was actually a mistake, because here I want to tap the other one, so... I don't know about that. No, in either case, I would have left the Drossforge Bridge open, so the sequencing is fine. Does that get countered? Nope. Get a land? Okay, not a problem. I will pass. Do they have Lorien Revealed? They do. I will Red Blast that. Okay, they're taking a turn off. I want to find a second creature. I don't get there quite yet. It might be time to throw this Wellspring at the face. Let's do that. Pay with red. Sacrifice my Ichor Wellspring. Find another bridge. Sure. Okay, let's put down another... let's put down a Mistfall Bridge. Another Blood Fountain. And then we will loot away a Drossforge or a Mist Vault. I think a Mist Vault. Get the Reckoner's Bargain. Nice. Do I do it now? Sack the treasure for no life gain. I don't think I really need life gain. I just need to churn. There's a Refurbished Familiar that we can't play quite yet. For now, let's just pass. They were definitely giving them some time to come back into it, but I don't think I really had a choice. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So we're going to lose our Refurbished Familiar. Alright, so let's... so we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. We can refurb and crack the Blood Fountain and Deadly Dispute all in one turn. So let's start... let's just start by cracking the Blood Fountain, I think. Alright, they declined to let that happen. Sure. What do they have in the grave, by the way? Nothing I really care about. Okay, so that fizzles. Let's tap here, and then Spellbomb them. Or try to. Okay, turns out there's no need. I can effectively hold up Deadly Dispute next turn. Let's just try the Spellbomb, actually. Because if this happens, and they Spell Stutter, I can throw a land at the Spell Stutter. And then I'll pass. I'm going to have plenty of Deadly Dispute targets later. If they have Terrors in their deck, they can start casting them. Sure. Another Spellbomb. We could try a Deadly Dispute. I think I'll try another Blood Fountain just to get some fodder for the Deadly Dispute. I think I would most prefer to sack a blood. Do they Spell Stutter? They don't? Have they lost their spell stutter, by the way? I can't remember if they still have one in hand at this point. Alright, let's Deadly Dispute. We are very low on black mana in general. If that happens, we will Thoughtcast draw 2. And there's a Mirror Enforcer. I think I'm going to hold off on the Mirror Enforcer. I want to be able to get it back if they... I'm going to hold off on the Mirror Enforcer for a bit. Let's do another Thoughtcast. Play a Bridge. And pass the turn. That is 3 of our 4 Galvanic Blasts, plus we have Makeshift Munitions. So this might be a burn game plan situation, but I'd prefer to try to present creature aggression first. Lorien revealed? Okay, that happens. Do I crack the Spell Bomb? Yes. There's another Mirror Enforcer. Okay, let's take a card. They don't know I have the second Spell Bomb yet. Snuff out, sure. Let's play a Mirror Enforcer. Let's play a Mirror Enforcer. Let's play a land. And then let's put down the Spell Bomb. And pass. We can get these back with one of our 2 Blood Fountains. They have plenty of mana, 7 mana. Gurmag Angler is really expensive. Murmuring Mystic? Sure. Let's try to cast down. They have the counter spell. Sure. And I think we should be able to close it here. Let's fire off some Galvanic Blasts. Spell Pierce won't help because I excuse me, because I have a treasure. And then we should be able to close it out with some aggression here. Alright, let's swing. They probably... Oh, they're going to take 4. Okay. Sure. And then let's Galvanic Blast. And ping them down with Makeshift Munitions. Alright, there we go. That's why we do it how we do it. You're prepared for the fairy matchup. We had the Makeshift Munitions, and we also had the Breath Weapons. I think. I can't remember if we ended up putting in Breath Weapon. But that'll do it. Let's move on to round 2. We are starting round 3 versus Bitterest of Blossoms. We are at table 1, actually. And I was just watching Bitterest of Blossoms facing this very deck. And they kind of rolled the Affinity opponent. So that does not give me a ton of confidence. I also don't have a very keepable start. I can Candy Trail. I think I need to mulligan this. This is a better hand for sure. I have some lands, I have a cast down, I've got some refurbished familiars to pick apart their hand. I think I'm going to keep this. I don't love it because I don't have card draw, but I think that just being able to stem the bleeding against this deck is important. So let's say done and proceed. So I'm probably going to play Drossforge Bridge into turn 2 Refurbished Familiar. The opponent keeps 7, which is not great. It makes Refurb a little bit worse. And they have Utopia Sprawl. Sure. They selected green. Okay. Blood Fountain is good eventually. But for now, let's just go Drossforge Bridge. That does open up the possibility of next turn playing the Silver Bluff Bridge into Blood Fountain instead of playing Great Furnace Refurbished Familiar. And they're developing to the board quickly. They're playing Eldrazi Repurposers. I think that's pretty common in Gruul Ramp, but I'm going to be honest, I don't know if it's always done. We'll pass. And just play our... There's some reasonableness to taking this faster. I'm not going to be blocking with the Refurbished Familiar this turn anyway. Next turn, they're probably going to have like 5 mana and start initiativing me. Not much I can do about that. I will have Cast Down if they have a reach blocker, but I need to find another black source pretty quickly. Good draws here would be Deadly Dispute, Reckoner's Bargain, Ichor Wellspring would be fine. Let's see how much pressure they put on this turn. I take 3. They do not find land number 3, it looks like, so they might have sort of a slow start here. I think I need to Silver Bluff Bridge pass, and then I'll just cast down their Writhing Chrysalis. They have 5 mana currently. I might also have to cast down the Trample creature, the Avenging Hunter, if they drop that. Okay, They are cracking their spawns, which to me reads as they do have Avenging Hunter. No Avenging Hunter, instead another Eldrazi Repurposer. Interesting. So that makes this cast down better. Wild Growth, sure. And we'll take 3. Really awkward colors, though, like I was saying. Oh, Kenku Artificer helps a lot. That's a good draw. This can help keep me in it. Okay, let's animate the Silver Bluff Bridge. And then I will pass. I really just needed to stem the bleeding here, especially because it seems like they have had a little bit of an interruption. They can tap for 5 mana here, so again, they can play the Avenging Hunter, but they didn't have it last turn. I wonder if they just have a lot of things like Jewel Thief, Eldrazi Repurposers. I mean, that's still pretty strong, don't get me wrong. Writhing Chrysalis, sure. So next turn they'll have access to 7 mana, so they can Annoyed Altasaur me. Although they might not be playing Annoyed Altasaur if they are playing the Jewel Thief. It's a consideration to block there for sure. So they get another spawn, okay. Can we get a black source, please? We don't get a black source, but we do find the Krark Clan Shaman. Let's start with a Refurbished Familiar. What do you discard? Nyxborn Hydra, awesome. Okay, so I can Krark here, and I'm not going to be able to really kill the Chrysalis, but I can take all these spawns off the board. So I think that's worth doing, since I can just block the Chrysalis with the Silver Bluff Bridge, and then I can get back the Kenku Artificer with the Blood Fountain. Not this turn, but later, you know. And we're just going to do this once. They pump up their Chrysalis to a 6/7. It's fine. Our refurb sticks around, and that's 4 mana off the table. So we can actually consider just value blocking the Eldrazi Repurposer when they swing in next turn and taking the 6, or even blocking it with the Refurbished Familiar. I wouldn't hate that. Do you have anything to do with colorless mana? Although if I decide to not block this, then that means they are stuck at potentially 4 instead of 5. But you know, I don't actually hate putting them to 5, is the thing, because I can take the initiative back from them. So I think I'm gonna value block the 3/3. I can take it back, but then they can eventually kind of burn me down. I'll take out the 3/3. Do I block with the refurb? I think I'm gonna chump. I don't want to put myself within trap range. So now I have this blocker for days, and they don't have the Avenging Hunter. Excellent. We find a Reckoner's Bargain, which is a little bit awkward here, but I think I'm going to do it and Reckoner's Bargain away the Great Furnace, or do I make them discard? I think we can afford to play off curve for one more turn, hopefully. Let's Refurbish Familiar. See what they have. They lose an Annoyed Altasaur. Okay. They were going to have a hard time getting there. So actually their window, if they had Avenging Hunter, would have been to play it after I blocked with Refurbished Familiar, because I would not have been able to take the initiative right back. I neglected to think about that. 4 mana, another Chrysalis, or an Avenging Hunter. So now they can actually protect the initiative because they have this Chrysalis up. Wild Growth, sure. Repurposer? Nope, they just burn the mana. Okay. Good. Unfortunately, nothing to do with my mana either. Another Refurbished Familiar? Sure, I'm good with this. I keep developing the board. I keep stripping away options. They lose their boarding party as well. These are all creatures that we are killing. And not only killing, we are also nullifying their effects. So they probably have another boarding party if they're willing to discard that one. Sure. Boarding party into a Malevolent Rumble. Sure. And then Malevolent Rumble finds Jewel Thief or Forest. They take a Jewel Thief. Okay. So they are going pretty wide here. If they decide to block with the boarding party, or attack with the boarding party, I'll block it with my bridge. Okay, they decline. Are we going to keep playing Refurbished Familiars? Let's find out. No, we find a Deadly Dispute. But what are we disputing? We still don't really have anything that we would be happy to dispute away, but I think I'm going to dispute instead of bargain, and I'm going to dispute a Refurbished Familiar, because I want the treasure token at this point. It's usually not that important. Here it is. We find a land. We can Galvanic Blast here, and use another refurb. We've seen all 4 of our refurbished familiars, and it's so good in this matchup. It's really helped to smooth things out for us. They discard the Jewel Thief, so that's gone. Eventually I'm going to have to deal with this Chrysalis. I can like double block it with some Mirror Enforcers. I'll find a way, I'm sure. They're going to have to start attacking with it. I'll block and then swing back. Do they find the Avenging Hunter? Nope, 6 mana. Another boarding party. Nyxborn Hydra. Uh-oh. That's a big problem. Okay. Let's block. We're going to have to start Reckoner's bargaining away our refurbished familiars and getting them back and doing things like that. We need to find Toxin Analysis. Alright, let's start by swinging with our... So, they're dealing 9 to me next turn. And I'm at 2. So I need to make them... I need to reduce... So they're dealing 9. I can get up to 6 right now, so I need more than that. I'm going to swing with just 1 refurbished familiar. If I get like a Candy Trail, I think there's a situation where maybe I can survive at 1 with that. So let's attack. Reckoner's Bargain. Leaving up red. Ichor Wellspring. That's not what I needed. What could I find here? I have 3 mana remaining. I guess let's play the Seed of the Synod and the Ichor Wellspring. Galvanic Blast. That's not going to do it either. They're dealing 8 to me. Let's pass. Let's see if they attack. It's pretty straightforward. Nyxborn Hydra is absolutely a big problem. I need the cast downs for that. I don't think there was a way to Reckoner's Bargain and sack the Blood Fountain and put the Kenku on the table, but if there somehow was, of course that would have been the play. I think I was like 4 mana short. Okay, let's go next. Alright, so we have the cast down, we have the Toxin Analyses, and we also have the Krark-Clan Shamans. I could put in Blue Blasts, which would help against their Gorilla Shaman and their boarding party. So I'll consider that. For now, let's take out a Blood Fountain, Heal Spellbombs, a 1 Galvanic Blast, and 1 Thought Cast. Now, is it worth trying to fit in the Blue Blasts? I don't think so. Let's submit. So ultimately, we were able to stave them off for a while, but that Nyxborn Hydra really got me. I wonder if we had a chance to discard it and we didn't take it. I'm not sure. No lands. That's not good. Mulligan. That's better. I can keep this. We have the Toxin combo, but we need to find a red source. Let's keep this and put back our Mirror Enforcer or a land. Huh. We have no card draw. I think I'll put back the Mirror Enforcer. They also mulligan to 6. That's good. So we have the tools to interact, but literally nothing else. Cards that I'd be happy to see here would be Candy Trail, Ichor Wellspring. Refurb would be okay. Sprawl. I wonder if they're not even playing Arbor Elf. That's interesting. I don't remember seeing it. Okay, that's good. Let's Blood Fountain and hold up a potential Blue Blast. I mean, I say it's good, it's not great. Do they have a Repurposer or Jewel Thief? To Glamour? Sure. If they want to play off curve, I'll let them. Kenku, okay. That's going to be good eventually, I think. Depending on how many more Deglamour style effects they have. I'll draw as a Repurposer, okay. I just don't really think I can loot with the blood, which is unfortunate. Candy Trail is very good. Let's do that. I don't need another Krark-Clan Shaman right now. I might eventually. It feels kind of bad to put this on the bottom, but I think I will. And I will take a Deadly Dispute. Let's pass. Hopefully I get to keep my black source. 6 mana. Boarding party, sure. And they can Deglamour my land. That's really bad. So I know I'm drawing into Deadly Dispute. I think I need to use this now to loot with the blood. And I think this Kenku Artificer is ambitious. Sure. They swing for 9. This is looking like a loss. There are some draws that I have. A Great Furnace would be nice. A Vault of Whispers is pretty good. Let's start by just playing that and passing. They have 5 mana, including a red. So do I cast this down, or do I Deadly Dispute? I think I'm going to cast this down. This heavily reduces their clock, even though I'm tapping out, which is unfortunate. Let's see if they have the Avenging Hunter. They don't? Okay, good. They're skipping. I like to see that. Let's Silver Bluff Bridge pass. I can dispute it if they try to deglamour something. They swing 3. Sure. Arbor Elf. Okay. Crack the Candy Trail. Or do I Deadly Dispute it? I think the life matters. I can Krark plus Deadly Dispute. Alright. So, what do I do now? I can pass. Or do I try to hit my land drop? I can't give them infinite time to climb back into the game. Oh, but I don't have enough mana to Krark and Toxin and Deadly Dispute. Right now they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. I think I'll take this off the table and pass. Maybe I should be Deadly Disputing the Blood Fountain. Eldrazi Repurposer, sure. Okay, I think I need to keep my lands. Alright. There's another land. Okay, so let's play the land. How is this going to work? I Krark. I Toxin. Well, I don't Toxin yet. I wait on that. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana right now. So, Toxin. I have to put 2 triggers on the stack, right? So, Krark wipes. Alright, we can use the treasure to do this. So I'm going to refurb first. Man, I wish I understood the rules better. Alright, I think I need to do this. Basically, I want to make sure that I can clean up their spawns in combat. Okay. So, Krark, I put 2 Krark triggers on the stack. 1 resolves, and it wipes their board. Then the Eldrazi Repurposers go on the stack. And then that resolves. They get the Repurposers, and then Krark happens again. Okay, so I'm going to hope that I'm doing this right. Let's do this during blocks. And then I have to make sure to hold control. So I want to Toxin here. So that happens. And I'm holding down control. I'm going to click, sacrifice, click, sacrifice my refurb. Okay, let's hope that worked. Okay, they're denying me some life gain. Makes sense. I still have to close this game and be able to finish. They have 5 mana. Writhing Chrysalis. Okay. The game is still on. We'll see if I can fight my way through. Okay, we have to bargain away a land, I think. Or I could just use this as a blocker and bargain it while I'm blocking. Let's do that. What if I don't block? I'll take 2. Are they gonna push 2 more? Yep. Okay. Boarding party, sure. Boarding party finds... I need another Toxin now. Avenging Hunter. Oh my gosh, I need another Toxin. Okay. They got the perfect stack. They find a forest. Okay. Let's bargain a land. I don't think we need this many blue sources. I got the Toxin Analysis combo. Do I wait? No, I think I want to use my mana efficiently. And then let's bargain away a land so I can keep my clue. Is that right? No, let's bargain away the clue. Or, sorry, sack the clue. Excuse me. I keep saying bargain away. Reckoner's Bargain. Gosh, this isn't what I want. I think I need to start doing things. I want to keep my lands, man. Alright, Deadly Dispute. Deadly Dispute, another land. Maybe I should have kept the clue. Let's pass. So they're going to scry. They have 5 mana. 6 mana because they found a forest. I want to respond to a deglamour with this Deadly Dispute. Another Avenging Hunter. Oh my goodness. Okay. So they make a treasure. Oh, wait, what? Did they just choose buff for 2 for no effect? Makes sense. I think I need to dispute away another land. This really sucks. Alright. At least I have some more. I can go Acre Wellspring. I'm at 3 right now. I can heal off of Reckoner's Bargain. Mistvault Bridge, pass. Hopefully they don't have a boarding party or a Hydra. They have 7 mana. Okay, I'd rather see Altasaur. Hopefully, they find the boarding party. GG's opponent. They didn't even scry, man. That's crazy. Okay, we're 2-1. We can't beat that. All right, let's go into round 4. Okay, so here we are after the Pauper Royale, and overall in that event, I went 2-2. In the 2 matches we saw, I managed to beat Faeries, and let me say that matchup was a clinic. No disrespect to my opponent or anything like that. I think they played fine, but it just felt great. Game 1, I was able to get underneath them with the animated land. They could not deal with it. I just pressured them and closed it out. And then Game 2, I held them hostage all game with the makeshift munitions. It felt amazing to see that change sort of come through and to do exactly what I wanted it to. Now, in the other match that you saw, Gruul Ramp, it obviously did not go as well. My opponent had some great luck with some of their cascade hits. I think that maybe 2 different times they had Altasaur into boarding party into a big threat, something like that. Even with all of the toxins that I had, it wasn't enough. But I think that matchup and my continued difficulties in that just prove that I think my experiment in going down to from 3 down to 2 Krark Clan Shamans was probably not the move. So I think in the future I'm going to be going back to 3 main deck. My other matchups were a Bogles deck that I lost. Again, I lost to the same player that was at the Fuguete League, but I managed to beat a different Gruul Ramp player. So wins versus Dimir Faeries and Gruul Ramp, lost to Gruul Ramp and Bogles. Those 2 losses just show that I think the Krark clans in the main are really important against various different both meta and rogue strategies, and I think that, you know, if it doesn't work out, I can swap to the breath weapons on the side. I have sideboard cards, it's no sweat. So now what I want to talk about is my potential future Grixis Affinity list that I'm going to be running soon. I'm probably going to play this at my LGS. I'm probably going to start bringing this to future online tournaments. Who knows, maybe I'll make another video. So let's go into that. So part of this actually constitutes a reversal of some of my original strategy in constructing the deck, where I went with a higher land count of 20 lands, and I was playing an extra Thoughtcast. Ultimately, I think squeezing in the Krark Clan Shaman was more important than those personal preference changes that I made. And also, I'm trying something else, which is maybe a little bit spicier, which is running a second Toxin Analysis in the main. Honestly, I feel like there are just so many matchups where Toxin Analysis is good, even when not paired with Krark Clan Shaman. It gets you some lifelink, it lets you block with a Refurbished Familiar and kill like a Tolarian Terror. It creates a clue. It actually does a lot for just 1 mana, even if you're not wiping the board with this plus Krark. So I'm going to go up to 2 in the main, and in the matchups where this is good, it's going to be really good whenever I go up against Gruul Ramp, Terror decks, Bogles, Heroic, stuff like that. I'm going to be really grateful for this, I think. Or at least that's what I'll be testing next. The sideboard has also been altered a bit. I've elected to go down by 1 breath weapon and up by 1 cast down against Brood Scale, which I did not show off in this video. I feel like cast down is just a better card than breath weapon is. It can help if they have already adapted their Brood Scale previously and gotten it out of range of the breath weapon. And I've also elected to put in a single copy of Extract a Confession here, which is again good against Terror decks, good against Bogles, good against Heroic, stuff like that. And then finally, I like the Nihil Spellbomb. I'm going to keep this in. I like how this is pretty good against some off-meta strategies. It's pretty good against combo decks, things like that. It's good against Dredge. I like the ability to splash a little bit of extra graveyard hate in addition to the 2 that I'm already running in the main deck. So now I want to briefly talk about some other future considerations beyond this list itself. So let's look at those, and let's change the display to card view. So of course I could switch to running Chromatic Star. At this point, I am pretty comfortable with the Candy Trail though, so I think I'm going to hold off on this for now. If I start running into a meta of a lot of various different combo decks or a lot of blue decks, I could run some sort of negation. There's Negate, there's Turn Aside, there's Metallic Rebuke. There's so many options to put in the slot, so I just put Negate as a generic consideration here. Sometimes you'll see a little bit of negation splashed. I'm already considering the Extract to Confession. Tithing Blade is another Edict type effect, but I think being able to designate the creature with the most power is actually really important, and important enough to not have the other benefits of Tithing Blade. Even though Tithing Blade is an artifact, I think that Extract is better, and against a Bogles opponent who has like a 10 power creature and then a 1/1 or something like that, I don't want them to be sacrificing the 1/1, of course. So I am going to try out the Extract to Confession. Ethereum Spinner is something pretty interesting that I've seen people suggest, and I would be interested in checking it out. Of course, this would be in a slightly different build of the deck, a build that does maybe play those Gear Seeker Serpents that I have over there, which I'll talk about in a second, a build that maximizes on copies of Thoughtcast, stuff like that. If I continue to have issues with 1/1 flyers, Ethereum Spinner could be a decent option. It's also an artifact itself, but I think with the makeshift munitions, for now I am okay. I am going to be trying out the Breath Weapon, and then also Gear Seeker Serpent I just have here to sort of represent that it's possible to take this deck in a more aggressive direction, especially if I continue to have some time issues or issues closing things out. This was sort of more of an old standard in the deck that I think has been coming back a little bit. There have been some 5-0s recently, I think, that have been playing Gear Seeker Serpent. It does match up nicely into Terror decks, so especially in that kind of meta, I could see this being pretty good. So that'll do it on the video. I hope you enjoyed. It was fun putting this together as sort of a progression series of my mindset in the card choices I want to make when bringing a deck to a tournament, how I adapt to the local meta. Obviously, I didn't, go undefeated or anything like that, but I think it's more so about the learning experience here and the incremental improvements than it is showing off, a flawless performance. So, again, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, a like, comment, and subscription would be greatly appreciated. And I will see you in the next one.